He was out there for 36 hours, escape and evasion, into effect what he learned at SEER school. And then at the same time, the CIA is tracking security forces, their movements, their efforts to find and fix the location of our airmen, running this deception operation, an extraordinary operation. I've heard it referred to as in a haystack. I think it's more like a needle in a stack of needles. Extraordinarily difficult.
The U.S. retrieves a weapons system officer from deep inside. F-15 Strike Eagle was shot down early Friday. President Trump hailing it as one of the most daring search and rescue operations in U.S. history. The remarkably complex Special Operations Unit and an elaborate CIA diversionary plot. Here to break it down, former U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander Tom Sauer. Tom, it is a joyful Easter Sunday for that the family of that colonel who is now safe and really all Americans. It's an extraordinary move to be able to pull this off.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for having me. And yes, Christ is risen. Also, we got a little bit of a Easter miracle ourselves early this morning. And to give you an idea about this is that, like, when a plane is shot down like this, the war is essentially paused, and then all efforts, this is at Central Command headquarters, this is at the Pentagon, the White House, everything becomes laser focused on recovering those airmen. And that one particular, the Wizzo, who was missing for 24 or 48 hours. And the guys doing it is like, yes, the Navy SEALs get an awful lot of attention these days. But one other component of this is our Air Force pararescuemen. And I had the real pleasure of working with those guys for a couple of years while we were attached to a similar special operations unit based out of the Pacific. To give you an idea of these guys, there's fewer than 300 active duty pararescuemen. Right there. I mean, they're a very, very small organization, and they've got the highest attrition rate anywhere in the military. We're talking 90% attrition. And so, like, not only are they the best combat medics in the world, they're the core of what's called the Guardian Angel weapons system, right? Which is the Air Force's, it's a non-aircraft based, human-based weapon system dedicated solely to combat search and rescue. And they integrate with the helicopters, the C-130s, the HC-130s, and then we obviously, as we know, there are A-10s involved on scene to basically destroy anyone and anything that is a threat to our downed airmen or to our PJs. And obviously the CIA, hey, hats off to them. They did an amazing job. And so, the war was just paused once that air crewman, those guys went down, and everything focused on that. So it's exactly what they're trained to do. It was their Super Bowl. I'm a little jealous, to be honest, because it sounds so exciting, and just love the opportunity to be able to gas those guys up, because they don't always get as enough credit as they should sometimes. So, and their big motto they talk about all the time, it's these things we do that others may live. They're absolute heroes, and I'm insanely jealous of those guys right now. And so really proud to have worked with them.
Yeah, absolutely. When you say 90% attrition rate, you're talking about the fact that 90% of the people who apply to become one of those rescue officers, they don't make it.
That's correct. Yeah, that's absolutely 90%. And I went through dive school with those guys, all that stuff. It's insane.
Brigadier General John Teichert says it is those combat search and rescue folks who are the real heroes of this story. Listen.
Fighter pilots have heroes too, and they are the personnel that do combat search and rescue. And on their worst day this weekend, they came through in spades with a daring mission that got back both the pilot and the weapons systems officer.
I mean, I know after the pilot was rescued fairly early on, and the weapons systems officer, the Wizzo, as you put it, was not located, and the hours dragged on. It was looking a little bleak, at least to me. But obviously, he put himself in a position to be rescued, and the crew went in and got him.
Absolutely right. And the thing is, this is one of those things that we always talk about, that, when it comes to situations like this, you very rarely do people, rise to the occasion. You sink down to your lowest level of training. Right. And so the thing is, though, is that these guys were trained so well. You probably heard before that they all went through, SEER school, survival, evasion, resistance, and evacuation,
Escape.
I think. I might not remember. Yeah, escape. Thank you. And so then, but these guys went through all this training, and this is something that Air Force pararescue, all of our special operations guys work so hard and train to do all the time. This is what they're absolutely built for. So, I mean, they're so incredibly impressive guys, and I love serving with them.
It is ironic that a disaster in the Iranian desert 46 years ago is what led to the formation of the rescue crews who were so successful in these two rescues. Listen to Brent Sadler here.
The last time the U.S. military tried something like this was almost 26 years ago in Operation Eagle Claw to rescue over 50 American hostages that had been held for over 400 days at the time in April of 1980, again in Iran. But that ended in disaster. It resulted in a lot of inward introspection of the military, the creation of Special Forces Command, as well as what we have today, the joint service that we appreciate, and the integrated military service operations that we benefit from. And certainly this mission is I think, a reflection of that.
Final thoughts, Tom.
Hey, my buddy Brent is absolutely correct, right? I mean, that is why we have the Joint Special Operations Command. And that is, the three-star command that is over, these other very tier 1 units that, we don't officially acknowledge their existence of. That's what created it. It was a massive failure that happened during the Carter administration. And we just didn't have the right people, the integration, and a lot of the technology. And now one thing I learned when I got involved in all of this, when I got all the read-ins and everything, is wow, there is a very impressive large organization that is well manned and well funded, and they are some of the very best that our country has to offer.
And we are grateful for their work and their service. Former Navy Lieutenant Commander Tom Sauer. Tom, thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.